Section 6.6, percent increase and decrease. Let's start by remembering from the last section, the amount of discount and the amount of markup formulas that we have seen. These are very similar to our percent equations where we have the amount equal to the percent rate multiplied by the base. This is our percent equation. Amount of discount equals the discount rate multiplied by the original price, and this is essentially a decrease when we have the amount of discount. This is a decrease in the cost, and the amount of markup equal to the markup rate multiplied by the original price, again still in the form of the percent equation, amount equals percent multiplied by base, but this one is an increase in the cost of something. So we have those two formulas already, we have seen those, and we have our percent equation, and again we can rewrite this percent equation to be to solve for the percent rate here by dividing by base and dividing by base. We can just flip-flop this. Percent rate equals the amount divided by the base. And if these are two numbers, then we know to get the percent rate we have to multiply by 100%. So in the same way, we can look at the amount of discount and the amount of markup formulas, write them as percents, and come up with the percent increase and a percent decrease. It's a very similar concept to what we have already seen. So the percent increase, this is like our markup. Percent increase would equal the amount of increase. Amount of increase is essentially the amount of the markup. Amount of increase over original amount. It doesn't have to be money and shopping. There's other things it could be, but we have the amount of increase divided by the original amount multiplied by 100% will give us our percent increase. And likewise, our percent decrease will equal the amount of decrease divided by the original amount multiplied by 100%. Let's look at some problems using these formulas. Annie's cholesterol dropped 260 to 208 after she took a new experimental drug. Find the percent decrease. All right, Annie's cholesterol dropped from 260 to 208 after she took a new experimental drug. Find the percent decrease. So the percent decrease would equal the amount of decrease, that's the change from the high to the low, amount of decrease divided by the original amount and then multiplied by 100%. So this equals our percent equals, we have to find the amount of decrease. Well, it started at 260 and it went to 208. So the difference between those two numbers is the amount of decrease. The original amount is where she started, 206. And all of that we're going to have to multiply by 100% to get this in a percent rate amount. So we have 260 minus 208 would give us 52. 52 over 260 multiplied by 100%. This will equal, divided by 260 is 0.2 multiplied by 100%, and we have that the percent decrease is 20%. 20% decrease in her cholesterol is what Annie had. Annie's cholesterol dropped from 260 to 208 after she took a new experimental drug. Find the percent decrease. 20% decrease. All right, very good. Now let's try another one. The price of coal was $26 per ton. Some years later, it was $46 per ton. What was the percent increase? Round to the nearest whole percent. All right, so the percent increase will equal the amount of increase. That's the change in increase. So the difference between where we started and where we ended. Amount of increase divided by the original amount. And that we're going to multiply by 100%, which is just the same as 100, and then the percent symbol is divided by 100, so 100 divided by 100 is 1. So we're not really changing anything, we're just representing it now as a percent. All right, so this percent would equal the amount of increase. So we changed from $46 to $26 is the difference between those two numbers. 46 minus 26. That would be our percent of our increase amount. And then we're going to divide by where we start. Always where it started. So it started at 26. So we have 46 minus 26 divided by 26, and all of that multiplied by 100%. So 46 minus 26 is 20. 20 divided by 26, and then multiplied by 100%. We have 20 divided by 26. This equals 20 divided by 26. Oops. And 20 divided by 26, I'm having trouble with my calculator. It is 7.76923. And all that multiplied, it goes on, but I'm going to leave it in my calculator, and I'm going to multiply that by 100%, and then we will round. So this will equal 76.923%. But we want to round it to the nearest whole percent. And again, that would be to here. We look next door. The 0.9 is greater than 5. Therefore, this is 77% increase in the cost of coal. The price of coal was $26 per ton. Some years later, it was $46 per ton. What is the percent increase? The percent increase would be 76%. Let's try another one. Deshawn's bill for cable television rose from $27.27 one month to $35.14 another month. What is the percent increase? So the percent increase would equal the change, or the amount of increase. So the difference between the two amounts, the amount of increase divided by where we started, the original amount. Always where you start. And then all of that multiplied by 100%. So this would equal, we have to find the difference between where we ended and where we started. The difference between those, and then divided by where we start, 27. So 35.14 minus $27.27 gives me $7.87 as the amount of increase, and then we're going to divide that by $27.27. Oh, and don't forget to change to percent by multiplying by 100%. All right, so I have $7.87 divided by $27.27, and that gives me 0.28859. I'm going to leave it in my calculator. I'm going to multiply by the 100%, and then we will round if necessary. This would equal 29%. We look at this. We're rounding to a whole percent. So we look next door. This is a decimal. I mean, greater than 5. So we add 1, and 29%. So the bill went from $27.27 one month to $35.14 another month. That is an increase of 29%.